everybody, this is the Johnny Mare, and I am continuing with Stardew Valley. So we have reached the beginning of our second season here in Pelican Town, and that is summer. Fortunately, the spirits are happy today, which is good to hear. So being a new season, and the first day of a new season, we're going to have a lot of new things to do, specifically crops to plant. Summer has a large amount of new different crops that you can actually plant, and many of them are actually ones that continuously grow. So notice our field here needs some TLC because it is in pretty rough shape. We also currently do not have a watering can because we handed it in to get it upgraded to a steel version. So we'll have to pick that up and actually water all of our plants once we get them into the ground. Before we do that, we need to clean out our area here that we're going to be planting in. Every time there's a new season, there's a bunch of new kind of crud that shows up on your farm, and you basically have to clean it out. Or just let it, I guess. So we're going to be expanding our field a little bit, and we're also going to be changing a lot of this ore over into bars, because after we pick up our steel watering can, we're going to want to start our next tool on the route to getting it upgraded as well. So we're going to try to make this field pretty much as big as we possibly can here. This is going to be primarily the last season, I would anticipate, that we're going to be planting stuff outside, or at least solely outside, because we should be able to get the greenhouse by the end of summer. But we shall see, I suppose. If I end up spending a lot of money on other things, more frivolous sorts of upgrades, then perhaps we will not have enough to get the greenhouse, because it is pretty expensive. I believe it's around 35,000 money. So we do not have an upgraded hoe, so we're going to have to go one tile at a time here, using our full stamina charge here in terms of using the tool. And we actually do not have any seeds either, so we're going to have to head over to the store to find out what we're going to actually pick up and plant. Now, my original plan was to plant a particular crop, which is actually very lucrative, and was actually even more lucrative in the early versions of the game, and that is blueberries. I actually nerfed blueberries quite a bit in some of the more recent patches of Stardew Valley. And so that was my original plan. I was going to do a couple rows of sunflowers, which are a loved item for Haley, and a great way to get her affinity maxed out, which again is one of our goals of this playthrough. But unfortunately, the Joja Mart actually does not sell blueberries. For some reason, I don't know if they're just terrible products, and therefore it's not in stock. That must be the reason why. That Joja wouldn't sell something. It's not because they don't sell something just because, and Pierre's is superior in some way. No. It must be because blueberries are actually bad. So we're going to have to change up our strategy a little bit and go with a different crop. And that different crop is one that I've actually used when doing a JoJo run in the past, kind of in my own casual playthroughs, and that is melons. So melons are actually pretty profitable as well. The only problem with melons is that you only get 2 harvests of them throughout the whole season because they take so long to grow, and they do cost quite a bit. So you kind of have to wait for the melons to come in to actually get the profits from them, whereas with the blueberries, you get multiple yields of them throughout the season. They take quite a while to grow for the first yield, but after that you start getting them fairly regularly. So the back end of the season you end up getting quite a bit of money. But that is not an option because again, we are not buying stuff from Pierre. So I will show off all of the different seeds once we get over to Pierre's, what you can grow if you want to. As I mentioned, a lot of the seeds in summer are actually ones that continuously grow, so they're not just one time only. The melons, unfortunately, are just a one-time shot. So once they grow, then you have to replant them. And some of the seeds in summer actually carry over to fall, as we picked up a sweet pea here for our forage. So sunflowers, for example, and also corn, if you plant them in summer, they will continuously grow and actually continue to grow into fall. So you could argue that corn is actually one of the best crops to plant, simply because you just have to buy the seeds once, as we have Jazz's birthday coming up and also a few events, the luau and the dance of the moonlight jellies. And then that's it, and they grow continuously throughout summer and also into fall. They just aren't worth that much though. So it takes quite a while for corn to come in, and then corn itself, once you sell it, is just not that valuable. So I would love to buy blueberry seeds, but no, I am not going to be supporting Pierre here. Tomatoes are another option. They are one that does continuously grow, but again, the value is just not really there. And peppers are good too, because they can actually be turned into a pretty good cooking recipe. The pepper poppers, which give you a little bit of a speed boost and is a loved item for a few of the different residents. Now the main problem with corn is that they do cost quite a bit, and so do sunflower seeds. So you're going to end up paying a lot more on the front end to get the seeds to plant, but then again, they're going to continuously grow throughout the summer and into fall. But let's head into the Joja Mart and stock up on our seeds. So here we are at our Joja headquarters. We'll quickly talk to Shane here. And let's start spending all of this money we acquired last season. So as you'll notice, again, a little bit more of a limited inventory here. We're going to buy about 20 sunflower seeds. That should be good to keep our Haley happy. We're going to buy 1 poppy seed to plant near our bee houses, and then the rest is going into melon seeds. So we're going to get 120 melon seeds. And we're going to do that twice during the season. So we have returned to the farm, and now we're going to plant all of these different seeds. Our first 2 rows will be kind of random seeds, and then the bottom rows will all be our melons. And one of the advantages of planting melons kind of together is that you can actually get a super crop. So there are certain crops in the game that if you plant them right next to each other, they have a chance to form into a super crop. And so you end up getting a lot more of the crop when you harvest it than you would normally. And melons and cauliflower and pumpkins come to mind. But there we go, our field is planted. And we also want to talk to Haley, of course. She's over here at the ice cream stand, and here is your terrible pickup line for this particular day. Haley, I went to Dr. Harvey, and he told me I have a serious deficiency of vitamin U. So we got her up to 7 hearts now. Very close to the 8 hearts that we need to get her to start going steady, so to speak, with her. You'll notice that Alex here is selling ice cream, which is a love gift for a lot of the different characters here in Pelican Town, specifically the younger characters. So now we're going to talk to Clint, and we're going to grab our steel watering can. Now we can water 5 tiles at a time instead of just 3. We're also going to process all of these geodes we got from our recent trips into the mine at the end of spring. And we'll see if we can get some new stuff to add to the museum. Now we're also going to be upgrading our pickaxe, because mining is still something very important. We do want to get down to the lower levels to start getting some gold ore as quickly as possible. But we also need a lot more iron ore as well, for various things that I want to start building. And also upgrading our tools. Because while you can start getting those super crops I mentioned with melons, there's a chance for that, you actually need an upgraded axe in order to harvest them. So once we've got our steel watering can and pickaxe, which might be as high as I go with them, we'll have to see. we're going to have to start working on the axe and get that up to at least copper, but probably steel as well. But we have a lot of new stuff to add to the museum here, including a lot of gems. Now you could argue maybe I shouldn't give the gems, simply because they're worth quite a bit to sell. But I like to get the museum up to at least, I don't know if it's 50 or 60 items. It might be 60 items. But that'll give us access to a new area in the valley, and Gunther will give us a key in order to access that new area. The rewards we're going to get here are not necessarily that great. They're all decorations. So many of them are just paintings. You're going to start getting stuff for your house. We haven't upgraded our house yet, so we don't really have a ton of room in order to put those decorations, so they're just going to end up in a chest. And then one of the books we found talks about scarecrows, which we know already about. We did lose a few crops during the spring, but now we have enough scarecrows to keep the crows away. They do cover quite a significant area. So as long as you have your scarecrows basically every few tiles, they will cover quite a bit of land. So you don't necessarily need to put them like every 2 or 3 rows, but rather I've found that as long as they're every 4 or 5 rows, they tend to cover pretty much the entire field. Now these dwarven scrolls, there's 4 of them in the game. They're necessary in order to talk to the dwarf that is up by the mines. So we can find the other 3. That'll allow us to get the translation book, and then we can actually talk to him. But that is not a priority. We'll see if we happen to come across them. It can be pretty difficult to find those. I was actually doing a normal community center run, playing concurrently with this run, and I got to year 2, and I got the last dwarven scroll at the end of year 2. So it took quite a while to find all 4 of them. But we have some nice gems here. Gems are, again, a loved gift for a lot of the different residents of Pelican Town, especially Emily. So if you're looking to woo Emily, probably finding a lot of gems, hanging on to them, and then giving them to her is a good idea. And you might want to save one of each for a particular event a little bit later as well. Small amounts are found in human teeth. Interesting. So then, do we need to harvest that from human teeth? Is it worth a lot? Maybe that's what the Tooth Fairy's up to. And one of the last things we're going to do today is sell off our excess of equipment here. We have a couple extra weapons and of course some boots as well. So let's get rid of those. And I do eventually want to buy a Templar's Blade, which is one of the best swords we can get at this point in the game. Alright, so now we just need to water for your moment of mindfulness. Make sure to water that flower too. It's pretty important. And that has been another successful day here in the valley, starting off our brand new season with a bang. Not much money, of course. We spent, I don't know, what was it, 17,000 money? But we got a little bit back. And now our field is set for pretty much the first half of the season. The sunflowers will come in a little quicker than the melons, but the melons are the vast majority of our field, so it's going to take quite a while for those to come in. And I don't know, I think it's about 13 days. So the rest of the time we're going to spend, just doing our basic chores. Getting our ores upgraded to bars as needed. Watering, chopping down trees, because we do need a lot of wood and also a lot of coal. And so those are going to be our priorities. We're going to have to wait till the end of the season here to start getting our tea from our tea plants there. But we'll start getting them eventually. So let's see what's happening in town. We don't have a ton of money, but we have a little bit. Maybe there's some events coming up. We do have Jazz's birthday coming. And yeah, I'm not really planning on doing much mining considering I don't have my pickaxe. So sorry. Normally I would do that, but that's not an option at this point. You can mine technically without a pickaxe, but you're not going to get very far. Unless you get really lucky and the stairs to the next levels are just always exposed in a way that you can easily get to without having to break any rocks. Which the chances of that happening are pretty low. So which of these exercises would you do, viewers? I would probably do the steps like Robin. Or maybe the dancing like Emily. Those look like the most fun. So let's head on over here to the east side of town. Abigail is not necessarily the greatest fan of summer. I don't like the heat in summer. It's my biggest concern. Our master bedroom gets pretty hot in the summer, so we end up having to run quite a few fans in addition to the air conditioner to keep it pretty cool. Oh, you replaced me with a tool. Lovely. Well, maybe I'll have some other uses in your life, Haley. Oh no, no more gummies. That's too bad, Vincent. Alright, so let's chop down some of these trees. Again, we need as much wood as we can get for crafting as well as upgrading our house eventually to at least its second level so we can get married. That's not a huge priority, but it is something I do want to keep in mind. And you may notice I added a sprinkler there, so I don't have to continuously water that flower, or at least remember to water it. You can build that with just a copper bar and an iron bar. The problem with the basic sprinklers is they only cover 4 adjacent tiles to the sprinkler itself, so they're just not very efficient, especially for the cost that it takes to craft them. But I do like to use them every once in a while. We also found some spice berries while out foraging, which is another of the forage items here in summer. So we're just going to sell those off. And we don't really have anything else to do, so we're going to head to bed. Why not? It's okay to have a little bit of an off day once in a while. What was that? Sounded like quite the rumbling. Well, that was an earthquake. And what it does is it opens up a new area of the valley for us to explore. And we also can pick up our steel pickaxe, because it's been long enough for it to have been upgraded by Clint. Oh no, a storm is approaching. So that is something unique about summer and fall, I believe, is that you can actually get lightning storms instead of just rain. And lightning has a chance to destroy stuff on your farm, including your crops. We got a spaghetti recipe from Lewis. Nice. I don't mind spaghetti, as long as we throw some meatballs on top. And then, here's the quest that we built up our affection with Marnie for. Mayor Lewis has lost his purple shorts, and he wants us to find them. Now, where could they be? And why did we build up our affinity with Marnie, specifically for this quest? I like how it's in quotes. Shorts. Return them discreetly, it says. Well, we're gonna have to find them. So let's go find those shorts. Now that we've done our chores for today. We'll check out this side of the farm. Doesn't look like there's really anything for us to do over here. We have some rocks that once we get our pickaxe back, we'll actually take care of. But the purple shorts are an interesting quest. They're available inside Marnie's room, which is why you have to have her at 2 hearts in order to access them. You might notice them back there in her room. So we're going to go in there and grab them. And you can give them back to Mayor Lewis once you pick them up. In fact, if they're in your inventory when you talk to him, you will give them back automatically. Or you can hold on to them. And there's a few other, I like this description here. Better not inspect these too closely, because obviously they're boxer shorts. But there's a few other things you can do with them. Now we are actually going to do one of the special events with them. So in the fall, you actually get to do a display at the fair, because that is one of the events that they do. Hello, Mayor Lewis. No, I haven't seen those purple shorts yet. I'll let you know when I find them, as we have an event here with Emily. This is her, I believe, 2-heart event. So let's see what she's got going on here. It looks like she's dreaming. And then I'll talk more about what we're going to do with Mayor Lewis's shorts. What are those trees made out of? Are those duck heads? So she dreams about meditating. Interesting. Ah, and there we are. Our dream self decided to say hello. We came to see you. And we have some pretty interesting effects here. Some circa early 1990s effects. What did it remind you of? That cat meme where the cat is flying with the rainbow behind it? Or the more you know public service announcement memes? It's a sign, huh? And I'm gone. Well, I'm not sure what that sign might be. Obviously, I'm not interested in you romantically because we're going after Haley. But I guess maybe we could be good friends. Emily was actually pretty popular. She wasn't originally a bachelorette in the first run of this game. But she actually got added as a bachelorette later. In one of the earlier patches. Our destinies will intersect. I guess we'll see. Let's talk to Haley. Maybe we can get her to 8 hearts. Come on, 8 hearts. Now, I don't think that talking to her will get her to 8, but we are going to activate her 6-heart event, and hopefully that will be enough, doing the good option in that particular event, to get her to 8 hearts, so we can actually do her 8-heart event today as well. But I'm taking a little bit of a chance here because it might not be enough to actually do that. But let's head to the beach and do her event. So this is Haley's 6-heart event. We find her on the beach looking, I don't know, nervous, anxious, distressed in some way. We haven't come to the beach in quite a while because I've been avoiding this event, so I could hopefully do both 6 and 8 at the same time. But it seems she's lost her bracelet. Now we could say we'll just buy her another one, but this is actually an important item for her. It's an heirloom that was handed down to her in her family. So we're just going to tell her, that sucks. Show a little empathy. Wonder where it went. Was she swimming? Oh, it was her great-grandma's. That does suck. Could she have dropped it nearby? Well, is it in this shell? No. You can't really do anything on... Ooh, what's that? That's a rainbow shell. But here is the bracelet. You can't really interact with anything else besides the quest item. We found it, Haley. Here you go. Look at her face. The big doe eyes. Or puppy dog eyes, I guess, depending on how you want to look at it. Look at my eye there on my sprite. So I'm looking down at her, I guess. But that was a nice hug. Thank you, Haley. I mean, it was common courtesy, but you're welcome. And let's clear out the rest of the beach here. But dang it, we didn't get her to 8 hearts. Looks like we're gonna have to wait to do the 8 heart event, and also to get the bouquet, which is a necessary item to progress her to being able to get to 10 hearts and actually marry her. That'll be available at Piers once we get her to 8 hearts. But let's clean up the beaches here. Quite a bit of forage here, because again, I haven't been to the beach in quite a while, including the unique forage of the rainbow shell. Now we're also going to pick up our steel pickaxe. But what we're going to do with the purple shorts is actually use them at the fair, because it's a way to actually bypass that event. And it leads to a funny scene. I also picked up a quest at the general store on the board outside, and Robin wanted a copper bar. So we will bring her a copper bar, because obviously that's a pretty easy quest to fill. Even though we do need some copper in order to upgrade our axe. That's the next tool upgrade we want to do, is get our axe up to copper level. So we're going to have to do some mining on some of the lower floors to find some copper ore. Because we don't have enough in order to actually upgrade it. We don't have enough for 5 bars. We could, of course, buy the ore from Clint, but we'll just do some mining. But there was that earthquake, and what that did is it opened up the area to the north here of Robin's house. You're welcome. We'll take that little bit of money and also the affinity boost with Robin. So there was a series of rocks up here that was blocking off this opening previously. But now, because of the earthquake, we can now access the railroad area, which has a whole bunch of stuff for us to actually get rid of. And also has the sauna or hot tub area. So this is kind of the area, the hot spring, if you've played Harvest Moon. Alex is really the only one who comes in here, where you can regenerate your stamina throughout the day. You come in here, you sit in the hot water, and you will get stamina back. It takes quite a bit of time to actually get quite a bit of your stamina back. But it can be worthwhile to do, for example, all of your farm chores in the morning. And then around noon, come up here, sit in the hot tub for, an hour or 2 hours to get all your stamina back, and then go mining. You just walk really slowly when you're in here. You'll notice our stamina is going to go up over time. Again, it takes about 45 minutes to an hour, a little bit more depending on what your maximum stamina is to get it all back. And that's about it. There's not much else going on in this area. There is a particular event you can activate much later in the game if you build up your relationship with Penny that uses this place. But we will not be doing that because we're not going to be getting Penny up to 10 hearts. The area is pretty huge, but again, nothing really going on in here. And again, you do walk very slowly. So our next goal is to head outside, and we're actually going to clean out all of the weeds and junk chop down all the trees, and also check out a few unique areas outside, which are the train platform. There is another massive boulder in the back area that you will not be able to access, at least in this playthrough. We're not going to get up there. And then there is a weird statue that we may or may not access eventually. To get through the weird statue, you actually have to build up your relationship with the wizard. To get through this boulder up here to the north, you need to essentially achieve perfection, which we are not going to be doing. And that's interesting that we can't actually dig there. And then there's a recycling bin here, which will be potentially used in some side quests later. And then on the train platform, we have an interesting little box here. So I'm going to clean out this area, head back to the farm, and basically call it a night. So I'll see y'all in my next episode when we finish off a few more days here in summer. And we'll continue onward. So as always, viewers, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode. And I'll see y'all next time. So long. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please press like and leave a comment below. Please also subscribe to my channel and press the notification bell. See you next time.